For days, the question has hung over this simmering city. Would Monday, Jerusalem Day to Israelis, marking the start of Israel's occupation of East Jerusalem, be the day of definitive violent eruption? As the hours ticked by, the answer came repeatedly, grimly, in the affirmative. At 6 o'clock, as threatened, Hamas launched a long-range rocket attack on Jerusalem's outskirts. And by nightfall, it was counting a growing number of dead, including children, as the Israeli military struck Gaza. One blast in the northern city of Beit Hanun killed 9 people, including 3 children.
Children, 8 months old, were killed. Mohammed, who was getting married 5 days after Eid, was killed. How is this a children's fault? Girls between the ages of 7 and 9 have died. How is this their fault? We were just sitting outside the house waiting for the call to prayer.
Hamas military sources told us they believed Israel was targeting a Palestinian Islamic Jihad fighter who they said had earlier fired an anti-tank missile at an Israeli jeep, narrowly missing its civilian owner. That attack coincided with the Hamas rocket strike on Jerusalem. 7 missiles fired, 1 intercepted, 6 falling in open ground. Israel's prime minister said that crossed a red line, requiring a forceful response.
We
will not tolerate harm to our territory, to our capital, to our citizens or to our soldiers. He who attacks us will pay a heavy price. I tell you, citizens of Israel, the current confrontation may last for a while. We didn't want escalation, but he who chose to escalate will feel our arms strike.
Hamas had earlier blamed Israel for crossing the line with the actions of its security forces in the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, known to Jews as the Temple Mount. They moved in large numbers, using tear gas, rubber-coated steel bullets, batons and stun grenades. For a second time in 3 days, the inside of the mosque became a scene of battle.
Al-Aqsa and Jerusalem are a red line. Whoever bears all the consequences of this dangerous Zionist aggression is the Israeli occupation. This is why the situation is exploding.
Israeli officials said Palestinians triggered the violence with stone throwing. Palestinian witnesses blamed the Israelis for firing rubber-coated steel bullets from long range. Injuries quickly mounted into the hundreds. The Palestinian Red Crescent said its own medics were among them. In the neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah, where Palestinian families face eviction, Palestinian Israeli members of parliament faced off against representatives of far-right Israeli parties. The Israeli Jerusalem Day march was called off after the government barred the usual route through the Muslim quarter of the old city, citing the risk of violence. But through the day, into the night, that violence came anyway.
A day that began with violence is now ending in violence. A Muslim holy month that began here with simmering tensions has spread, those tensions spreading into truly dangerous territory now.
Deep into the night, waves of rockets continued to be fired from Gaza. At the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the confrontations flared again, setting a tree alight. A violent day over, dangerous days still ahead. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, occupied East Jerusalem.